A week in Dummary. As 9 US states hit record highs for COVID-19, the curve looks about as stable as a 74-year-old world leader walking slowly down a ramp. Trump's stumbling gait during a West Point military graduation ceremony sparked concerns for the president's health. Apparently, the pathological lying and tinfoil hat conspiracy tweets weren't enough of a clue. What should strike fear into every American's heart is that he drinks his water toddler style. To be fair, he needs both hands to hold it. They are famously small. But Trump had bigger problems to worry about this week, namely suing people who think he's an arse. Trump's own niece is releasing a damning exposé that describes the inner workings of the Trump family as a nightmare of traumas, destructive relationships, and a tragic combination of neglect and abuse. So no surprises there. Also keen to crack the bestseller list is former National Security Advisor and Geppetto regretting that his despot puppet came to life, John Bolton, whose tell-all book is full of shocking revelations if you're gullible enough to be surprised by anything anymore. Apparently, Trump sought China's help with his re-election, he genuinely thought Finland was part of Russia, and he didn't know that the UK was a nuclear power. One can't help wondering if Bolton's book would have had more impact before we all built up a tolerance to Trump's garbled nonsense. The only thing that's shocking here is that this wannabe good guy knew all of this shit and refused to testify during Trump's impeachment hearing. It seems Bolton is one in a long line of former Trumpies who suddenly discovered their conscience the second they were out of power. Funny that. Of course, Trump was quick to brand Bolton's book full of lies and fake stories. So fake that the White House has filed a lawsuit to prevent the book from being released because it contains state secrets, also known as having your cake and suing it too. Between having a campaign ad pulled from Facebook for using a Nazi symbol and tweeting a doctored video entitled "Terrified Toddler Runs from Racist Baby," there's only one thing that can make Trump's week any worse: rights being granted to minorities. The Supreme Court not only made it illegal to fire people for being LGBTQ, but they just ruled against his catastrophic bid to end Obama's DACA program that protects hundreds of thousands of young immigrants from deportation. This defeat came as a bit of a shock to the Commander-in-Chief, as he's packed the Supreme Court with more white conservatives than a Mike Pence wet dream, including Brett I like beer and definitely didn't sexually assault anyone Kavanaugh. Trump's other appointee, Neil Gorsuch, sided with the Liberal justices in ensuring that LGBTQ rights were indeed enshrouded by the 1964 Civil Rights Act, all while flipping Trump off from under his robe. Meanwhile, in the UK, chief medical officers have officially downgraded the coronavirus alert level from 4 to 3, or by Priti Patel's count, somewhere between 3,300 and 412. But just when you thought British government can't get any more surreal, this week a Premier League footballer did what Boris Johnson couldn't. Something. Manchester United player Marcus Rashford proposed a campaign to provide food vouchers for families suffering poverty in the wake of COVID, which the government obviously rejected. However, the resultant backlash and Tory MPs threatening to rebel was enough to persuade Bojo to do one of his trademark U-turns. Maybe he and Marcus should swap jobs for a week. Although, to be fair, Johnson's more familiar with full contact sports. New Zealand reported new cases of coronavirus after less than a week of being completely COVID-free. Sadly, this impressive achievement has been ruined by the same thing that always ruins everything: 2 English women on holiday. With health officials' permission, the pair drove 400 miles on compassionate grounds to visit a dying family member. However, the healthy officials were somewhat less aware that the women are riddled with COVID and met up with friends on the way to share the love. Good news for Britain and America, whose response to the virus now looks slightly less shit by comparison. A week in